Hi, I'm Jeffrey Arreza. This little book, I would say, is long overdue. I've been planning to write this for more than a year. But I've sensed that there is something missing because I was still finding an exact support to my curiosity of the amount of newfound energy and enthusiasm since I have reached 40 years old 6 years ago. All is grace. You may have probably read the best-selling book Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren, and at 40, it became crystal clear to what would be my aim. Also, having personally met the likes of Robert Kiyosaki, John Maxwell, Susan Buffet, daughter-in-law of Warren Buffett, Prince E, Jay Shetty, to name a few of the great men and women. They have a common goal, which is to contribute and share their experiences to aspiring people like you. Have you read this excerpt from Les Brown? True honesty is hard. Throughout my career, I've faced moments where I need to make an honest look at myself and face some very uncomfortable realities. Even today, there are times where part of me wants to pretend that things are different than they actually are. Truth of the matter, Dominador Arreza, who passed away last year, taught me creativity and hard work. And at the same time, after his loss, I founded a small health and safety club in Dubai. Secondly, I owe a lot to Alicia Arreza. She died 1st May 2018, who taught me persistence and, most importantly, service and giving value to others. Dominador and Alicia are my parents. This little book is dedicated to Tatay, Dad Doming, and Nanay, Ma'am Alice, my wife Ch.1, and my children, Jeff Andre, Jules Keith, Joseph Lionel, and Jana Angelique. Family, my brethren in the community, and friends. Each chapter has a declaration or a personal commitment to fully make a habit towards a purposeful and value-giving life you will begin to have. An example is already done for you to make it easy and simple. Did a friend pass this book to you? If you find this interesting and helpful, please refer it to a friend. That becomes your value. Chapter 1. Why do we have to understand the source of energy and find our true identity at midlife? Napoleon Hill discovered, from the analysis of over 25,000 people, that men who succeed in an astounding way seldom do so before the age of 40, and men often they do not strike their real pace until they are well beyond the age of 50. This fact was so astounding that it prompted him to go into the study of its cause most carefully. Be very careful about this stage, as you would a certain peak accomplishments to be encountered every step of the way. Now that you know the truth, it is really important to properly utilize these energies into better channels or purpose, like community service, walk the extra mile in your company, or pursue your dreams, and any other service you can render. Thus, a value add to your name. On the contrary, this will continue to dissipate and be wasted. Most successful and influential men and women, as we glance at some of the geniuses, businessmen, and actors who achieved success after the age of 40 and what they have done to get where they have become, I would be honored to enumerate some. Firstly, I want to state Henry Ford. In his youth, he worked as an engineer under Thomas Edison, where he exerted on ways to improve the then new automobile. It was not until he was 40 that he founded the Ford Motor Company, where he introduced the Model T 5 years later. A second name is Abraham Lincoln. At the age of 40, Lincoln left the House of Representatives and went back to practicing law, his young political career seemingly over. He jumped onto the just-founded Republican Party 7 years later, and then was elected President of the United States 4 years after that. Third, Colonel Harland Sanders worked a variety of odd jobs throughout his life and watched his first attempt at a fried chicken restaurant fail at the ripe age of 65. But he used his social security checks to begin franchising Kentucky Fried Chicken, which became the success it is today. Fourth on the list is Vera Wang, who was a figure skater and journalist before entering the fashion industry at age 40. Today, she's one of the world's premier women's designers. Another woman, Grandma Anna Moses, who loved to embroider, but when her fingers started to fail at the age 78, she took up painting. Today, she is remembered as one of America's great folk artists who painted some after scene of American rural life. Ray Kroc spent his career as a milkshake device salesman before buying McDonald's at age 52 in 1954. He grew it into the world's biggest fast food franchise. Samuel Jackson has been a Hollywood staple for years, but he had only bit parts before landing an award-winning role at age 43 in Spike Lee's film Jungle Fever in 1991. People magazine, best known for annual publication of 100 Most Beautiful People, The Sexiest Man Alive, The Best and Worst Dressed Celebrities, Most Beautiful 5-time winner Julia Roberts is now 52. One of Julia's quotes is, "True love doesn't come to you. It has to be inside you." Blake Shelton at 41 was voted 2017 Sexiest Man Alive, taking the trophy from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who is now 46 years old. Allow me to discuss more on Dwayne Johnson's journey to success, not because he looks like me, badhead, but because of his motivational quotes. The Rock has proved himself a success in the arena and on the silver screen. He has achieved a level of success as a wrestler and ended that no one else has been able to match. He failed in his first love, which was football. He then went to professional wrestling, which gave him the love and admiration of the world, and he took it one step further by proving his abilities in acting by playing diverse roles, each of which were truly great performances. One of my favorite Dwayne quote is, "Success is not always about greatness. It's about consistency. Consistent hard work gains success. Greatness will come." He is one that inspired me to go back to the gym and be fit. This time, I have a personal trainer to guide me. As Les Brown would say it, no pain, no gain. Someone said, if your favorite flavor is Rocky Road or Double Dutch, you are still young. But if you now choose Water Yum flavor, you are undergoing what? Midlife crisis. Let us examine this source of energy. If you look back at the time when your baby started to crawl and a year later, he or she began to walk and run. And then, all of a sudden, you find your lad on top of the window grills. 2 years more, the child may be able to climb a fruit tree. Then you wonder why your child has attention deficit and hyperactive disorder, ADHD, or other disorder. Actually, the surprising hyperactiveness in children is the result of drinking processed milk from cows and dairy products. There are MTA studies for treatment of children with ADHD and other research. What is striking is the channeling of this energy into something good like sports, music or arts, or whatever form of multi-activities. Take for example the story of Olympian Michael Phelps, and here then is a 10-year-old boy named Clark Kent who smashes the Olympian's 23-year swimming record. Clark Kent Apuada, who has been aptly dubbed Superman, hit the headlines in the weekend of 3rd August 2018 when he achieved the incredible feat of beating Michael Phelps' 1995 100-meter butterfly stroke world record. Michael Fred Phelps II, born June 30, 1985, is an American retired competitive swimmer and the most successful and most decorated Olympian of all time, with a total of 28 medals. Phelps also holds the all-time records for Olympic gold medals in individual events, 13, and Olympic medals in individual events, 16. Michael holds the record for winning the most Olympic medals in history by far. But one source of his drive to win comes from an unlikely source: his ADHD. He was diagnosed with ADHD in 6th grade. But while he couldn't sit through class without fidgeting, he could swim for up to 3 hours of the pool after school. Later, with proper coaching from Mr. Bob Bowman and untiring support from his mom, at age 15, got his medal in the 2000 Olympics and at every Summer Olympics ever since. There are some influential and successful people we can enumerate, but what really triggered these men and women to hit the zenith at middle age? Rarely does an individual enter upon highly creative effort in any field of endeavor before the age of 40. The average man attained the period of his greatest capacity to create between 40 and 60. These proclamations are based upon analysis of thousands of men and women who have been carefully observed. These should inspire those who fail to arrive before the age of 40, and to those who become frightened at the approach of old age, around the 40 years and 50 ages, as a rule the most fruitful of men. Why do we have to understand the source of energy and find our true identity at midlife? Ultimately, the truth is you are the only one responsible for your results. Use your gifts and say, "I can." Declaration: I would do at least 10 self-awareness of my inert powers and potentials that make me who I really am, making a positive influence to others. Example: I will jog for 6 kilometers in 50 minutes twice a week. You will be receiving the rest of the chapters in different audiobooks. We will upload it so you can learn from it. Alright. Thank you for now and have a nice day.